Today we profile the Honorable President George W. Bush. He was our 43rd president, affectionately known as George W. He was born in 1946, grew up in Midland, and then Houston, Texas. His parents were Barbara and George H.W. Bush, our 41st president. He earned a BA degree in history from Yale University and an MBA degree from Harvard Business School. While Bush was at a backyard barbecue in 1977, friends introduced him to Laura Welch, a school teacher and librarian. After a 3-month courtship, she accepted his marriage proposal and they wed that year. He then worked in the oil industry and later co-owned the Texas Rangers baseball team. From 1995 to 2000, he served as the 46th governor of Texas. In the 2000 United States presidential election, he beat Democratic incumbent Vice President Al Gore, despite losing the popular vote after a narrow and very contested electoral college win that involved a Supreme Court decision to stop a recount in Florida. In 2000, and again in 2004, Time magazine named George W. Bush as its Person of the Year, a title awarded to someone who the editors believe has done the most to influence the events of the year. From 2001 to 2009, he served as our 43rd president of the United States. A decisive event that reshaped his administration and transformed the world was the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001, resulting in the start of the war on terror. 3 days after the attacks, President Bush visited Ground Zero and met with Mayor Rudy Giuliani, firefighters, police officers, and volunteers. Bush addressed the gathering via a megaphone while standing on rubber. "I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon." He then created the Department of Homeland Security and ordered the 2001 invasion of Afghanistan in an effort to overthrow the Taliban, destroy Al-Qaeda, and capture Osama bin Laden. He signed the Patriot Act to authorize surveillance of suspected terrorists. He also ordered the 2003 invasion of Iraq on the erroneous belief that Saddam Hussein's regime possessed weapons of mass destruction and developed ties with Al-Qaeda. In 2004, President Bush was re-elected president, beating Democratic opponent John Kerry, and this time winning the popular vote. Hurricane Katrina struck early in Bush's second term and was one of the most damaging natural disasters in U.S. history. Katrina formed in late August during the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season and devastated much of the north-central Gulf Coast of the United States, particularly New Orleans. President Bush responded to mounting criticism by claiming to accept full responsibility for the federal government's failures in its handling of this emergency. It has been argued that with Katrina, President Bush passed a political tipping point from which he never recovered. In December of 2007, the United States entered the longest post-World War II recession, caused by a housing market correction, a subprime mortgage crisis, soaring oil prices, and other factors. In February 2008, 63,000 jobs were lost, a 5-year record. And in November, over 500,000 jobs were lost, which marked the largest loss of jobs in the United States in 34 years. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that in the last 4 months of 2008, 1.9 million jobs were lost. By the end of 2008, the U.S. had lost 2.6 million jobs. Since leaving office, President Bush has lived a quiet life in Texas and largely refrained from any connections to politics. particularly resisting opportunities to criticize his successors. He has worked quietly and diligently to solidify his legacy. The George W. Bush Presidential Center at Southern Methodist University in Dallas consists of the Bush Presidential Library and Museum and the Bush Institute. This institute was created for the purpose of continuing discussions about the best policies to foster economic growth, human freedom, education, global health, and various women's causes. His charity work has been quite extensive, with several efforts devoted to fundraising for wounded veterans, including an annual 100-kilometer mountain bike ride and the Warrior Open Golf Tournament, and he is a very strong advocate for veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress. President Bush has also become an accomplished painter, specifically portrait paintings of family, friends, and young American heroes are veterans. In 2009, President Bush wrote this very concise, simple philosophy of life. Trust in God. Love your family. Cherish your friends. Never compromise your principles. Don't quit. George W. Bush. In early 2001, I was honored to meet President Bush in the White House, along with 30 other people. He spent a minute with each of us one-on-one, and his warmth and gentle nature filled the room. It was an honor of my life. That's the story of President George W. Bush. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these messages of inspiration and hope, please like, subscribe, and share them with family and friends. And until we meet again, please remember, with God, anything is possible. Spoke.